Alright, last night we was out cruising around in the Merc. Well, I had met a guy to cruise with at Auto Advance there on Bridge Street in Chillicothe. Well, I went to fire the car back up and it wouldn't start. Had pretty good luck out of this thing. Well, obviously, I mean, we just got back from Texas, huh? So I'm out here today. I ran down to the parts store here. I don't know if you can. Here's a generator. I already went ahead and pulled it off. This thing had the factory generator still on it. And what it was doing is it would charge at like 1500 or so RPMs. But then once it got up higher or lower, it wouldn't charge. It would barely do 12 volts. During the daytime, that's fine. It kept everything going because, you know, it don't take much to run these old cars. But I've got a couple extra accessories and stuff inside that I've added. You know, some extra charge ports and things like that. So instead of going ahead and throwing some new brushes in this thing, which would probably be fine. It's like a FX33, I think is the factory part number on these brushes. But I can look down in here, and for some reason my camera's not wanting to flip. But you can, maybe you can see down inside there. Probably not. But anyways, the brushes, the carbon brushes that run on the motor, that generate the power to come out of this thing, are just not even, they're not even touching. They're just shot. Probably could even spray some cleaner in it and clean them up, but this generator is only good for like 35 amps, something like that. So with having the extra goodies that we have in here, and also getting ready to put electric wipers on this thing too. So with that being said, I went ahead and we run down parts store here. We got this nice new, oh, don't sound very nice, kind of got a little squeak there in it. Nice new one wire GM, 65 amps, a little better, put out a little more power. Kind of gonna be a straightforward deal. The last one of these, not Mercury's, but old cars that I converted, was my Buick. When the generator took shit on it. Matter of fact, it's laying right here in the garage still. But with that being said, down here's where this thing mounts at. You can see it's got two brackets there, and then the one that bolts on the back of it that goes to the head as a support. So here's what I was talking about. Here's the old generator. You can see down in there. So that thing's wore pretty bad. You can actually see the edge of where it's been wearing. You still can't see the brush down in there real well, but this thing has two carbon brushes. It runs on that shiny spool there, and that's what actually makes the magic happen. But this one here, these things are pretty simple. There's your part number in case anybody wants to do a one wire on anything. This part number, you do not have to have the jumper wire from your power to, there's a plug underneath here. You don't have to use the 12 volt jumper on this one, because they sell two different ones of these. One of them you jump, one of them you don't. This is the one you don't. So with that being said, I'm gonna try to get this thing down in there, and make sure you read this before you start, because when you got people like me showing you how to do it, and we're just a bunch of dumbasses, you know, especially since I'm doing it in my driveway, and I've got a nice shop up there that's got a lift and stuff in it. But you know, here we are. So all right, I'm going to see what I can get going on here. Try to keep the video rolling and try to be as informative as possible. All right, I'm going to see if I can do this with this camera sitting here like this. Kind of want to see, let you guys all see what's going on. The biggest thing with this is getting everything lined up right, as far as your belt and all that. So this is going to be kind of a trial fit here. See where we can go with it first, and we might have to do some modifications. You never know with this. But a lot of times, and this thing here, the sway bar might get in our way. I don't know. Let's see. That might get us right there. So I'll put a long bolt through here to here, and this will actually come around on the back side, and that's your brace to kind of keep these from walking around. And then pop down here underneath the car. Oh, I'm getting too old to lay on the floor like this. But here's your, you really can't really see it. All right, here's your, that's your adjuster. So our other piece will bolt into that there, which I'm not sure if that's going to work. I might end up having to run a spacer. I think I got some aluminum spacers up in the shop. We'll see what happens. If I can get everything to settle in the back right here. Battery tray kind of in a bad spot with the trying to get the camera in the right angle and stuff, so you can see a lot of it. Alright, so we got her hung up here. After a little bit of modifications, there's about another quarter inch or so goes on the back of that. This is the second one of these I've had to cut off to make it fit right. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. And then just a little bit off the front, which that wasn't a necessity. But this piece here, to use my factory brackets, and normally I would not care to change a bracket, but in this situation, this lower mount here for the alternator, well, the bolt is partially behind the balancer on the engine. So with that being said, I would have had to pull the radiator, pull the balancer, and go about it that way. So instead of doing all that, I got the old wheel of death out there, done it that way. But down here, see, here's the other mounting piece there, and the bracket. So I need about a 1-inch spacer to make this work with this bracket, which I think I probably have one up in the garage. If not, we'll find a big bolt, or not a bolt but a nut, and here's this is a Buick, and I could probably have got away with using this bracket off of this one if it wasn't for the whole getting it behind a balancer and whatever. So saving myself some time. I say that, which I'm going to go up here and look for a nut, or a spacer. I probably won't end up saving myself much time, but we'll see what I can find, and I'll get back with you. Alright, so we went up and dug around in the garage. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I first walked in, I found this galvanized bolt here, or nut, which probably work. But then I dug around in my junk drawer, and I actually found this steel spacer that I had. I've got several of these. I don't remember where they even came from, but as you can see, this steel one here is about an 1/8 inch or so wider than this one. So I think that this one here is going to be my best bet. I'm going to jump down underneath there and see what I can get to work. We'll see how it comes out. Alright, so there it is. It's on, mounted up. I ended up using that bracket I had from a Buick on the top, because this bracket here, the factory bracket, wasn't going to work for what I was doing, and trying to keep from going out and really buying a whole lot, because I've got so much junk laying around here. This just goes to prove right here that you don't throw anything away. This other little bracket on the back here, I made that up out of some steel I had laying around, and that's just for extra support to keep it from really wobbling back and forth. So here's where we are, resting right now. Keys off, all the lights and everything's off. As you can see, there's one wire. It hooks down there. It runs up where the factory stuff ran, which is going to get tucked a little bit better. And it hooks over here to the hot side of starter solenoid. You can run this straight to the battery post if you want. either way, it's not going to make much of a difference. So with this alternator, it's internally regulated. Remember, no jumper wires are needed, like the other one wire alternator that they sell. So with that being said, I can also get rid of my factory voltage regulator here, because we don't need it no more. So it would have mounted right here. There's a bowl hole here, and there's another one down here. But you can see I took the factory wiring harness off here, and normally I would have just went ahead and used this factory piece here, but as you can see, it's starting to get kind of brittle over its age. These here, you could actually get rid of this here, and I'm actually going to get rid of those. I taped these up that way they wouldn't spark on the inner fender while we fired it up. But anyways, there's your resting. It's 1234. And we'll fire it up here and see what we got. You can see that it slowly starts, well, my negative from my meter was loose, but there you can see that it, you know, it's up over 13 now. So, and that's at an idle. And it'll slowly continue to climb. But this one, I've never seen one of these ones go over like 13.8 or 14. But this is my go-to alternator all the time. Again, that's, you know, we got rid of this big piece here, and here's the part number. This is a drive works. This is just like the 1 year deal that that Advance Auto carries. So that's pretty much it on that deal there. I mean, you can see that really not a whole lot going on. Basically, it's just getting your bracketry to work. It's pretty simple other than that.